Happy New Year. Welcome to Oceanside Perspective. My name is Helen Wang, and I'm the founder and CEO of Oceanside Perspective. I also teach at Rady School of Management at UC San Diego, and this is my student, Natalie.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Professor. I'm Natalie Alvarez, and I am a graduate student of Professor Helen's at UCSD. Thanks for having me today.
You're welcome, and congratulations for your graduation. You finished all the courses, the MBA program at Rady. What an accomplishment.
I'm thrilled. Thank you so much for your support.
Could you tell us a little bit about your last project at school?
Sure. So my last project with Professor Helen was generational diversity in the workplace. So I'm excited to talk more about it today. We really built off of the building blocks of our leadership and emotional intelligence course to understand how do the different generational facets impact our emotional intelligence and our collaboration in the workplace.
Perfect. January is actually Generational Diversity Month at Oceanside Perspective, so we're thrilled to tell you a little more about this project. So first of all, since we mentioned about a generation, is there any difference between age and generations?
Yes, actually. So age is how old we are at any given point in time. So that's going to change as we grow older. However, generations is the group of individuals that we grow up with, that we have the same societal forces shaping us, the same influences in our lives, and we carry those with us from our formative years and childhood all the way through our lifespan. And so our generation is constant while our age is increasing over time.
Okay, then I have a question for you. How many generations do we have at the workforce?
There are 5 generations currently in the workforce. So we have our silent generation, we have baby boomers, we have Generation X, we have millennials, and we have Gen Z entering the workforce now.
What about the size of each generation?
So the size, our silent generation is our oldest generation. There's not as many of those in the workforce anymore, just about 2%. Our baby boomers currently are around 18%. However, they're retiring and reaching age 65 on a daily basis, of course, and so they're on their way out of the workforce. While Generation X is currently about 35% of our workforce, Millennials are actually our largest workforce group right now. It's about 39% of our workforce is made up of this population. And Gen Z now entering the workforce is about 6%, but that'll greatly increase over time here as they're graduating.
So how would you describe the generational differences?
Generations can be thought of like cultures. It's another societal force that shapes us. There's their own way of communicating, their own values, their own way of thinking and opinions that they form. It's all based on the formative years of when they grew up and what was happening in the world at that time.
Can you give us an example?
Baby boomers are, of course, our largest generation because they were created after World War II. They're a very large generation. Gen X is a little bit smaller in reaction to baby boomers. Millennials, once again, is a larger generation in reaction to the smaller Gen X generation, and Gen Z, once again, is smaller as a reaction to the large millennial population.
So it reminds me about the wave of the ocean.
Exactly.
So the older generation are gradually retiring, for example, the boomers, right? And then Gen Z is coming in, to the workforce.
Exactly.
So I'm curious about, from management standpoint, that is there a lot of managers at the workforce right now by Gen Z, or they're coming?
That's a great question, Professor. So about 10,000 boomers are reaching retirement age on a daily basis.
Wow.
And as they are getting older, exactly, now in 2025, about 10% of managers are actually Gen Z. So we have a lot to learn here.
Wow, that's very interesting. So that's also make this topic quite timely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to see, are they going to adapt to the current workforce and workplace environment, or is the workplace going to adapt to our new Gen Z management?
So, which leads to, there is an analogy about sandwich. So you have maybe today still the boomers is on the top layers, the Gen X and millennial is in the middle, and then Gen Z is at the bottom, but they're coming up pretty quickly. So which means that that all the generation needs to learn how to work together.
Exactly. And so a huge issue that's facing new managers and current leaders alike is the issue of trust in the workplace, and how do we establish that to really unite our teams. And so throughout this research project, we've surveyed employees in the workplace and learned more about their perspectives on the cultural differences in generations, how they approach trust, how to navigate influence in the workforce, and really how to put it all together and form a big picture leadership intelligence that can really work to unite all generations in the workplace.
Awesome. We can't wait to dive into your research outcome.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Professor.
much.